VR for Pastor Piper.
I'm just an ordinary guy. I ain't no miracle worker. I do the best that I can. I ain't no miracle worker. Oh Lord, I ain't no miracle man.
How did his God get so overlooked? I'm not real sure. It's kind of weird. Usually we're all on top of the God situation. Especially since I've been interacting with him. I really don't know how that happened. Very odd. Possibly because that superbly magnificent Memorial Day pipe possibly overshadowed the God a little bit. I don't know. That's a spectacular pipe. Are you gonna do a 4th of July? You should make them brother, sister pipes. That'd be cool. A serious topic, but I wanted to put a nice, cool little soundtrack to the pastor's video today because I fixed my DVD player. I'm not very handy around the house, guys. I must admit. Around all you very handy dudes and women. I'm not smoking Penzance or Abingdon, although I've been loving that box. This is still my morning raspberry, but I got a meeting to go to, and this is time sensitive. So, Memorial Day. For Pastor Piper, he asked, what does Memorial Day mean to me? And who does it remind me of? Okay, and this has been a tough one for me. I recorded this like 4 times yesterday. Long videos. I don't even know what I was talking about because I was off my game. And the truth of the matter is I had to really reflect and look at myself to discuss Memorial Day. Memorial Day is not just about California's gold marathons on PBS. For you Californians that know what I'm talking about. Even you might not know. Oh, good songs. Next time. I'll turn it up. Next time. Memorial Day. I've taken it for granted horribly. I grown up in a, first of all, not religious at all family. Although they did put me in Christian school as a kid because they didn't want me in, they were scared for me in Los Angeles public schools. And they should have just let me go to public school, to be honest. But I went to a Christian school. Nothing, I'm obviously talking to a pastor here and all our friends here, but Christian school and I didn't get along that well, and it didn't help that I had godless parents at home sending me there. It sent very confusing messages to me, and I don't think it was a good place. And I'm not bagging on Christian schools or churches or anything. The one I went to in particular, and I won't say its name, was not a good place, and that happens. Would I trade the experience for anything? No, no way, because I've going back and looking back then, I could see how much I've learned now. And anyways, so my family's also, not my dad necessarily, but my mom is very vocal, and so is the rest of my family, about being very, very far on the left. And it is my spiritual belief that we don't get pulled too far to either side, ever. Okay, those two thieves on the cross, I know who they are. They're me, huh? But anyway, anytime a Republican was president, especially, you know, my mom would really be fired up, and she can be out of control. And she's a lot of the reason I'm not on social media, and she won't be seeing this, and neither will any of my other family members. That's why I could say this about her. I love her to death. I'm really mad at her at the moment. But it's okay. We'll get through it. So they, I used to say I was Republican just to rebel against my mom. And she's always very anti-war, anti-military. And then I discovered punk rock growing up. And, it can be very political at times. And I always tended to kind of stay away from the political side of it. Politics doesn't really interest me very much. But punk rock, whether you can't avoid the politics, and it's very left again. Although I've never considered myself a leftist ever, or on the right neither. I've never have. It's just not something that ever interested me. Not that I don't care what's going on. Just, it looks like a mess to me. But anyways, very anti-war, very anti-military, and every now and then you'll come across some guys, that, grew out of punk rock and became a military man, and now has a nice family, and you run into those guys, and it's not like they're gonna go to see a band and people are gonna hate on them or something like that, but it's just very opinionated, right? And so I always really took Memorial Day for granted, okay? And I'll be very honest. I thought that it took a certain kind of person to join the military. That, and I'm gonna say it, maybe not a smart person. And I'm wrong, and I was wrong, so wrong. And I'm very sorry for that. And the only reason I did that was because of my own shortcomings, and because I am ashamed and I'm jealous of people that do have discipline and can take care of business. And geez Louise, who's been the one that's mind controlled? Who? This guy. This guy. And the only way I could break out of it was to start over again. To start completely over again. Temple smashed. Time to rebuild that sucker. Got 3 days to do it, right, Pastor? So, I've had to re-examine every aspect of my life that I come in contact with, and I have to redo. I have to revisit it. If I watch a rerun of Different Strokes on TV, I have to watch it a different way than I did the last time. And does that sound insane? I have a blast. So I don't care if it's insane or not. And I feel like a better person. So who cares what anybody else says? And I'm learning to take care of business. I'm an amateur taking care of business kind of guy at the moment. I'm a baby. A big, giant, hairy baby that smokes a pipe. So, I've never had anybody in my family be in the military. Now, who Memorial Day reminds me of is my grandfather, my mom's dad, and uncle, who are like war historians. And I don't remember my grandfather ever being that political, and Uncle Don is still alive, and he's not really that. He is into politics, but he doesn't go around like some people do. And I'm not saying people shouldn't speak their mind and stuff, but come on. Jeez. Your opinion. It's your opinion. It's not the truth. It's your opinion, guys. So anyways, I got kind of sad thinking about that. And, you know, I live in a military town these days, where Camp Pendleton is right over my backyard. I've got a lot of military neighbors. And I've met some cool military people, like Grateful Dog, Sebastian, who, the minute you meet him, can just tell he's a good man. And he is. He is. I have not one disparaging word to say about that guy, except that I wish I could hear him a little better on his videos sometimes. That's it. What a guy. And a guy like Luke Risner, who I've been watching on YouTube. What an inspiration that guy is. You know? A leader. You know? Discipline. And he's working on taming his ego down a little bit. And it's fun to watch him learning to do that. And learn and recognize it. Okay, well, these are the beginning steps, you know? Like, hey, I might need to re-examine some things. And think things a different way. And I'm going to do that with Memorial Day. This year I lost an old friend that I hadn't seen in a long time, but some of you probably remember watching the video. It's got more views than any of my videos for some reason. Probably because I got pretty emotional. And so Cody, respect to you on Memorial Day, bud. He wasn't a military man at all. But we did lose Cody this year. And it really tore me up a lot more than I thought it was going to. So Memorial Day reminds me of Cody this year. My grandfather and my uncle, who are war historians, and my uncle actually is a true crime author. He writes some pretty kind of racy books, you know, murder books. Think Discovery ID Channel murder shows in novel form. My Uncle Don's been doing that for a long time. His name's Don Lasseter. And you can even see his face on TV sometimes on those murder shows. Sometimes I'll just hear his voice from a different room come out, and there he is on the TV. Especially when I lived with my father-in-law. He watches a lot of those shows. But I remember being in physical therapy one time that, you know, doctor would have to come to my house after I got my hips and give me physical therapy, and I remember laying there and hearing my uncle's voice coming out of the TV. I didn't even know he did these shows yet, and I look up over my physical therapist's shoulder, and there's my uncle's face on the TV. He has also written some books about war, and he became good friends with Cal Worthington, who's a very famous car dealer here in California. Very famous commercials. So famous that even some non-Californians have probably heard of Cal Worthington and his dog Spot. If you need a brand new car, go see Cal. Right? My uncle wrote a book about these very famous war hero guys. They were POWs in World War II, and Cal Worthington was one of them. He's dead now. So Memorial Day reminds me of those guys. It's the closest thing I have, really, to my father-in-law. Has some stories about being drafted and being stationed in Thailand during Vietnam. No stories about his job there, or any. I know he wasn't in any kind of combat. Good stories, though. Good stories. So anyways, I had to really reflect and look hard, and you know, the guys that are going out to fight there, they don't pick the fights. And it doesn't matter what the fight's about. It's just their job to go handle business. Whether it's a hard decision or not, it's their job just to do it and to bust it out. And I live in sunny Southern California, where everybody in the world wishes they could at least visit, if not live here. I know these days a lot of people don't want to live here because of the political climate, that's too bad, because it's a nice place. And wait till I get to go make beach videos, you guys. It's gonna be awesome. So yeah, I have had new appreciation for military guys. Thank you, everybody. That's, there's a million vets here in the YTPC, and you guys are some of the warmest of all of everybody. And I'm sorry if I ever accused people that have chosen the military as a career. If I've ever looked upon you guys as being cold, maybe. That's my own coldness. That's my own just stubborn assness. And that's the kind of thing I'm really trying to avoid and outgrow right now. So thank you guys for showing me something, showing me a lot of things. I am the most undisciplined dude you probably could ever meet, and I'm really working on it. I really am, and I have to because I've got kids here. So it's a shame that I don't have some more discipline. But I'm starting over. I'm a baby, so I'm going to learn it now. And I'm glad to have you guys around to help me out. My big brothers. In Luke and Sebastian's cases, little brothers. But you might as well, you're my teachers. All you guys. Thank you all for everything you've done. Doc Bravo, I'm going to make you your own VR, and we'll talk about you too, bud. This video is pretty long. By the way, if you haven't seen Onion's Memorial Day video, go watch it. And, I had kind of a lame VR for this topic at first. I watched it and I was like, that's lame. Especially after I watched Onion, who poured his heart out. Onion's the real deal. I can't wait to see him today. Yeah! Pastor, excellent little guy. I would love to win the big or little Quiet Nights. Thank you for the Quiet Nights sample. I really like that stuff. Penzance is my new reflection blend. I'm trying to stay focused. And take care of my family and take care of business. We got a little healing to do around here, and I plan on being the one to do as much nurturing as I can. And I need to whip this family into shape. And if I was more disciplined of a guy, it'd be a lot easier. And I know you guys are there to support me, and I appreciate it. Beautiful Memorial Day pipe, Pastor. What are you going to do, though, for 4th of July? They're going to have to be brother and sister pipes. I think so. You probably already have it in the works, and it's probably awesome. The Easter pipe, I really liked the Easter pipe. I would smoke that thing. Yeah, it's purple, but I still would. Pete's calling me, guys. Let's see if he needs a ride somewhere. Have a good day. Love y'all.